So I guess the best way to do this would be while you're studying, talk your way through, like if a question asks you, take a drop of blood out to your arm and back, or take it down to your leg and back. Now obviously we're not going to go down into the hands of the hands, but we did go to ulnar artery. And on your list we did go down to some of these lower arteries. So I would say always start at the right atrium with the blood coming back and just talk your way through it. So you definitely want to know what we talked about last week with the brachiocephalic trunk coming off the aorta. And we definitely want to know where the subclavian becomes the axillary, becomes the brachial. And that would be a good question on here. We also want to see pretty well, how about right in here, you want to take a look and see if you can tell where the common iliac gives rise to the internal and external iliacs. The internal never leaves the external.
That's just the general area?
That's the general area. So those Y's right there. So right there is where the aorta stops.
Okay.
And then from there, we have our common iliacs, a right and a left, and they're going to split into internal and external. The external is the one that leaves. Rather than me showing you though, use your book and follow them along so that you can find them all. And then I also want, which isn't so easy on here, but like for instance to the kidney, those would be pretty easy to identify those. I'd say the trunk and the arms and legs would be good questions to ask on this one.
Okay.
Not so much going to the head.
You could put a pin right here and
It would
say,
be like a piece of tape.
or
Like
what,
I'd put
yeah.
A, and I'd have it with the arrow. The arrow would be touching what vein or artery I'm talking about. And remember, you have to put, you can abbreviate for artery and vein just with A or V.
But you would put it here and say, where did it pass through last? Or
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, that gets kind of tough on some of those, but definitely on some of the major ones I would ask. Like for the iliacs, I would ask that, or maybe the femoral. As far once we get down into real tiny ones, I would be asking. I would say the best thing to do, use your lab manual and talk your way down to the ulnar of the arms and down to those tibials in the leg. So you definitely, the big four that we looked at last week, you definitely want to know those subclavians and the common carotids and what they do.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And of course the cat and the cadaver will be an example too. It's actually, no favorite ones. It's actually pretty good too.